We're going
Game
into
number 3.
Game number 1. Yeah, game number 3, actually. I can't count anymore.
All right, Liadkor, you take it away. I'll be right back in 20 seconds.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 3 of the Losers Bracket Finals of EGC Golden League Round 3. Spawning in on the right side is going to be MarineLorD playing as the Rus in blue, and to the north, it is the HRE. Actually, I confused the civilizations, I think. Oh, complete potato caster. It is LucifroN on the south in blue, and MarineLorD on the north in Rus as the red. Well, opening up with a hunting cabin straight away, and I do see Drongo coming back. Well, there is a reason that you always open up with the introductions, because I just potatoed mine over here.
Well, how did you potato it? What did you do, Liadkor?
I confused the sides, you know. It happens to the best of us.
North and south, east and west, all that kind of stuff. But look, it is confusing seeing the Holy Roman Empire coming out on this map. But I'm excited to see what we've got because, you know, it's one of the things to remember is that a meta, often it's very stagnant, but at the same time, it is ever evolving, it is ever changing, and it's great to see the HRE coming out here on this map because it's not something that you would really expect to see. And I feel like the more that it gets pushed out in this situation, then, you know, the more commonly accepted it becomes. And now, you know, you're going to see people out on the ladder trying the Holy Roman Empire more and more on these open maps and not just leaving them, for those sort of closed maps here.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one. It's nice to see all 8 civilizations having a use in a diverse list of maps because, you know, for the last couple of months, it was really, okay, if it's a closed map, slower pace, so something like French Pass maybe, or Hillandale, or Altai, you might choose the HRE, and it's nice to see that now people start to experiment with it on more open maps as well. The concern here for the HRE, or at least it's a concern to a certain level, is that the Rus love this civilization matchup because the Rus is the way to deny relics from the HRE with the warrior monks. So this is one of those scenarios where the probability of seeing a Borgrave Palace is actually larger, simply because you do expect the Rus player to be pretty successful collecting relics with the warrior monks, leaving you with less accessible relics for your own Ragnitz Cathedral, should you choose to go for that.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And I think that's why in this matchup, definitely going for the Burgrave Palace is probably a smarter move, just because it's going to be difficult going up against the Rus here. I mean, by the same token, the Ragnitz has obviously been reduced in its power, and as a result, that threshold that you want to typically meet is going to be lower. Normally, it was the 3 relics that you quote-unquote needed to have to really, you know, to have the best chance of winning, but now it's 2. So in that case, even if you only get 2 out of the 5, you're not feeling too terrible because that's the sort of max threshold. So I do suspect we'll see more and more of the Burgrave Palace continue to come out through this tournament. Obviously, it's been victorious once before, and I suspect we may see victory once again strike in the hearts of the Holy Roman Empire with the Burgrave Palace. But we've got players now beginning to age up. LucifroN going to be dropping down that landmark. We'll take a look in his base. I don't expect we're going to have any sort of sneaky shenanigans, any sort of minework palace.
I would be very surprised, and indeed, that is going to be an Aachen Chapel. I guess we're getting back to the same point of raiding Aachen Chapels, and I gotta say, it's a bit of an awkward spot for this one, because it's not going to have the gold incorporated, and if it was placed close to the gold, it would still affect the villagers on the town center, on the wood, and it would also affect the gold. Given the fact that it is placed close to the berries, I get the impression that we're going to see LucifroN transitioning to those berries quite soon over here, which wouldn't be ideal, to be honest.
Yeah, it wouldn't be ideal, but I guess realistically, where else does he go? I'm thinking he might even look for professional scouts out of him. I wouldn't be surprised to see that just with the positioning there, because the berries, the mill, it all just works very well into that, because obviously if he drops down the mill, he's going to be able to access the berries, and then, you know, if he's going for professional scouts, we're going to see that as well. So that is an option for him as well. But scouts now beginning to battle it out. Obviously, the Rus going to have the advantage here. Always going to have a few more scouts than their opponent. But we've got that age up coming through for MarineLorD. MarineLorD already with the wheelbarrow. If you haven't already sent off that wheelbarrow alarm, make sure you've got it off. But I'm suspecting we're going to not be seeing any sort of wooden fortress out from him.
Yeah, I'll be very surprised. The question becomes whether MarineLorD is going to go for the boar. So let's take a look at the boar spots, and yeah, that's 8 villagers moving out. The first boar is on the left side of the map, so it's sort of in that side area, not directly in between the players. So it's not going to be perfect for a proxy base, but it's also going to be a little further away from any kind of combat, so it's going to be a little safer. The other boar is on the far right. That's going to be difficult to access. And there it is, second town center coming in for LucifroN.
Oh my lord. It's actually happening. I can't believe it. This is an actual thing. Like, people are making the second town center happen. Like, don't say fetch. Like, it's actually happening. I can't believe it. But now scouts coming out together in tandem, working with those villagers, going to be looking to take it out. We see one of those villagers getting down to about 20 health. Second villager getting pretty low there as well, but it looks like the boar going to be snagged away. I'm not sure who got the killing blow on that, but I do suspect it was probably our Rus player, MarineLorD. We'll take a look at how his bounty is tracking. I suspect he's probably over that 400 threshold right now.
Actually,
340.
Yeah, I think he has gotten it because for a long time he was 140, and then he brought in 3 wolves that would push him to like 210-ish. Finds 1 or 2 more wolves or 1 or 2 more deer, kills the boar, that is 340. So he likely got that kill. It's just the fact that he didn't have that much bounty from the other animals across the map. And look at that forward stable coming in here. That is a little unconventional. And this is where we have to mention that, sure thing, a 2 town center build. Oh?
Where is he going with this town center? Don't tell me he's going to the boar. Don't you dare go to the boar with that town center.
It's gonna be the hunt. It has to
No,
be.
it could be. It could be the. Oh, come on. No, yeah. Oh, I got so excited. Like, he was going to cancel it. Nope. Oh, jeez. It was so close. But look, it's still a pretty decent spot. I do like this early second town center coming out from LucifroN. I feel like the build order's still probably got be a little bit optimized. Obviously, he's gone for a wheelbarrow in here. He's got the prelate out, so things aren't perfect. But are we potentially going to be seeing a little bit of feudal age action today? As it looks like we're getting a barracks coming out as well. So it looks like the 1-1-1 opening here for MarineLorD.
The thing that's concerning here for LucifroN is that going this against the Rus is risky, because we've talked about this one, the Rus, with this archer range spam and then that feudal age push with like 50 archers and battering rams is so dangerous. In fact, this build, the boar build of the Rus, was designed to punish a 2000 or Abbasid build. And it can do the same thing with the HRE. Obviously, HRE do have access to the emergency repairs, so they do have a bit of a buffer with that. But it's very risky to do something like this, especially when your expansion town center is so exposed and so much out in the middle of nowhere, where really MarineLorD could just unleash hell on that and destroy it in 5 seconds. This is a large amount of risk that LucifroN is taking here with this build.
Yeah, that's a great point. Now, one of the things to note, obviously, that is different, that sort of sets those civilizations apart, is that LucifroN on the Holy Roman Empire is going to have access to the men-at-arms. So the question for me is, does he look to mix those in? Because as you guys will know, when you're playing up against a civilization like the English, those archer wars, they seem to be going okay until there's 15 men-at-arms that turn up, and that's when things start going south. And it could be the same here. Obviously, LucifroN with the double town center is going to be banking on the fact that his economy is eventually going to be outscaling that of MarineLorD. But the question is whether he is going to be able to survive that long, because MarineLorD is going to be meaning absolute business soon. I can feel it.
The concern here for LucifroN is that his eco is not spectacular. So he only has 3 villagers lead, but of course the Rus do have the extra wood dropped off thanks to the wooden fortress. He does have the boar and the gathering rate bonus on the villagers. And if you look at how many villagers are boosted by that Archon-Shepherd for LucifroN, it's only the lumberjacks essentially. The food villagers on the north don't have a prelate close by, so they don't get the boost. It's only the lumberjacks and the berry villagers that really get any kind of boost over here. So proportionally, the eco of MarineLorD is probably even better right now than LucifroN's one. Obviously, this will change in the future, but this gives a fairly big window for MarineLorD because LucifroN is nowhere close to fielding the 15 aforementioned men-at-arms that he would need to hold off such a push.
Yes, indeed. But we can see that now the transition is coming through for LucifroN. So bringing out archers, also getting in the hardened spearman upgrade. So looking to try and hold on a little bit. The question is, what extent does MarineLorD go for an age 2 play? And I think we've got our answer, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be ram time. It is going to be ranch time. Get your rams out. Get your ranch out. Get everybody to the showers right now. It is time. We are going to the ranch. And MarineLorD is going to be taking us there. He's looking pretty decent at the moment. He's got that wheelbarrow in. You mentioned that he had the wooden fortress up, providing that extra 20% bonus. So his economy is going off chops right now. But the question is, he's got that double broadaxe in. How much production does he actually have behind this?
Good question. It's only 11 archers right now on the battlefield with 4 spearmen. It's definitely a larger army than his opponent's one, and it is 3 archer ranges, so that's no joke. only one battering ram out here. That might be something that LucifroN can hold off with emergency repairs. But this is going to be a difficult hold here for LucifroN because MarineLorD is going to have a ton more units coming into this battle for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, we can see that they're slowly trickling, but I guess one of the things to note, and this is something that you pointed out, is that when it comes to the Holy Roman Empire, they have access to emergency repairs. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see it out on the next poke. Come on, bring it out. Here comes the emergency repairs. Come on, repair it, repair it. There it is. There she goes. Straight back up to full health. And there you go. Now that push is getting delayed. And this is what we were talking about when it comes to the Holy Roman Empire. It is a civilization that you are going to be able to delay that push that comes out from your enemy. So they might be thinking of going for something similar to the Guz build, where they're looking to dish out all this damage on the early town center that you've expanded with, just like we would typically see out of the Abbasid dynasty, but it's not going to be the case because there's that healing that comes out from that really, really important, unique faction or factor of the HRE.
Spectacular defense so far by LucifroN. His dance with the villagers, his dance with the spearmen was outstanding. He's pushing away that battering ram, and the ram is now heavily damaged, so unless it gets repaired, it's going to get taken down soon, and I think emergency repairs is almost ready to recharge. It's not there yet.
The repair. Oh my lord, it's on such low health right now. You can see it is slow. Oh, the villagers get pulled. See you later, mate. I don't need emergency repairs. I got emergency villagers right here. They're going to be doing all the repairing I need. And now he's going to be able to jump back inside. Manages to keep himself alive out here with the outpost. Incredible stuff right there. LucifroN looking great. Villager count starting to build for him as well. He's up to 9 villager gap right now against MarineLorD. He's holding on as well. I got to say, I'm impressed from everything that I'm seeing so far from this double town center opening for LucifroN.
This was one of the most spectacular defenses I've seen in my life. Like, this was insanely difficult to pull off. One misclick and you're gone. That tower is much needed to dish out the punishment, to make sure that you can continuously deplete those archer numbers. And LucifroN behind this one, he was using that emergency repairs perfectly. When he ran out of that, he decided to repair with the villagers. And you see, once again, he's dancing back and forth with the villagers, making sure that he can do as much damage to those rams as possible, while also keeping that tower alive with emergency repairs.
There it is, emergency repairs once again coming in and delaying the push even further. I'm curious if those villagers have got their textile upgrade. I could only imagine that they would. LucifroN not the kind of guy to forget a textile, and that battering ram going to be going down. And we do indeed see he does have the textile upgrade. Emergency repairs going to be coming through, and it looks like LucifroN is held. He has got the 2 town centers up. He's built up a military lead over his opponent now. Spearman's still going to be alive back here, and he's looking very good. I love the way that he's using this outpost as his anchor point as well. You can see that he's committing to this outpost. He's not falling back on the town center. He is saying, no, this outpost, this is where I draw the line. You will not be coming past here. You shall not pass.
Yeah, that's a great point. Indeed, that outpost is where he's drawing the line, and he's building up an archer lead now. So if you look at the archer numbers, it is getting better and better for him. He's not over with this one just yet, because that battering ram is still out there right now. He's pursuing those with the spears. And keep in mind that a lot of his villagers were essentially idle as they were repairing the tower and pursuing those rams. But the moment the pressure is relieved from this position, which seems to be right now, he's going to have a massive eco lead compared to his opponent. It's 10 villagers, and of course, you're also going to have the HRE bonus. I would love to see some prelates moving out to inspire those villagers, but this defense was spectacular from LucifroN. He probably expected something like this as a push, and it worked out so well. I'm not gonna lie, I think this game is going to be one of the most studied games of the entire round, potentially the entire tournament, because I can see this build and such a level of, or such a style of gameplay with the HRE on open maps becoming very popular on the rank ladder.
Yeah, and this is something that we were talking about a bit earlier. You know, when it comes to Age of Empires 4, this is not only just a testing ground right here, but this is an example. And many players will watch games here and then they will take it to the ladder. We saw, you go take a look at Reddit right now. There are just complaints about at lower levels, English is the only civilization people are picking. Why was that? It was because of Golden League. That was all we saw for an entire weekend or two, was just English coming out non-stop. And it looks like finally that outpost, oh, never mind. Back to the pavilion you go, battering ram. Not today, my friend. I was about to call it good night, Sweet Prince, for our outpost in Shining Armor, but it seems like he survives another day.
Yeah, and that's a great point that you brought up. And I remember that we were casting a lot of English games, and we were talking about this, that I think it was a Sunday, and we were talking about the fact that, okay, starting Monday, everybody is going to be using English on a ladder, and boy, oh boy, was that true. So maybe LucifroN just popularized the HRE. Now, one concern for him is that MarineLorD is going castle and he is not. So MarineLorD, he could just stop this pressure right now, go up to castle, start picking up the relics, and that could still be a little concerning for LucifroN.
Yeah, that's a great point. LucifroN probably yet to really think too much about the relics when it comes to his spawn. He's got about 3 that are within his reach, but now we see those archers beginning to trade out. The numbers still looking pretty good. You can see he's working towards a castle age behind this. Keep in mind, emergency repair is probably off cooldown by now. So he's going to be able to repair back that outpost. And you can see the way that he uses this as a sticking point. It means all the villagers behind the town center are never going to have to really worry about coming out. Now that outpost, once again, see you later, mate. Back on out you go. It is getting repaired back up. And look at that. It is just glorious to witness it.
The only thing that LucifroN could do slightly differently is that when that ram is unprotected, like it was a couple of seconds ago, he could send in the archers to do some extra damage on it just so that it gets ground down a little bit more with the HP. But there is Castle Age for MarineLorD, so veteran archers coming in right now. If LucifroN wants to fight, now is the time to do it.
Yeah, it's a great time for him to fight right now. He's going to be able to take advantage of the fact that his enemies yet to get those upgrades through, but we can still see MarineLorD pushing the issue. A couple of lances out here on the front line, going to be looking to dish out some damage as well. You can see him picking off, and I think we might see that outpost finally go down. Unfortunately, there she goes, ladies and gentlemen. It was a pleasure seeing you perform, but unfortunately, the captain has to go down with his outpost. And LucifroN now going to be definitely in a bit of a tough position here, Liadkor.
Yeah, it's still not over yet. He's on the way to Castle Age, and I just wonder, is this the time for the Borgrave Pass? He's got 72 eco, so he could afford an infantry spam, and no.
Damn it, man. Did you not get the memo, LucifroN? Did you not get the memo? We are doing 2 town center Holy Roman Empires with Burgraves today. That is it. That is what we're doing. He mustn't have got the memo. We'll have to update the mailing list. We'll have to make sure he's okay. But now villagers going to be falling back. It's not looking good for him. He's got that villager advantage. He's up by about 19 villagers right now. I say about because it's exact. But yeah, the villagers are going to be running idle, unfortunately for him. And now we see veteran archers coming through as well here for MarineLorD. So he's going to be looking to push the issue. Relics getting picked up behind this. Keep in mind, he's got the warrior monks out on the map, looking to bring in those relics. And second town center, we did see emergency repairs coming out on it before it did go down.
Oh, no, it didn't go down. It's an emergency repairs once again popping out for it, so it stays alive a little longer. But this is getting concerning for LucifroN because he's yet to grab his upgrades, and he right now has to run for his life with those villagers.
Should have gone for the Burgrave. Can you imagine right now Burgrave into just bringing out a whole bunch of men-at-arms? I can imagine that. That would have been a victory right there. That's what they call in the old school books victory. But LucifroN going to be struggling along here with his Regnitz Cathedral instead. We'll be looking to pick up a couple of those relics. You can see already 2 of them on the north side have gone, but both of them picked up by MarineLorD. So that is not going to be a good thing for him. And now plenty more units continuing to funnel out, but we can see there's still a relic down on that south side available for him. It's going to be a struggle as he continues trying to clean this up. A knight going to be able to clean the rest of it up. Archers continuing to go down, but now LucifroN trying his best to stabilize. It's going to be difficult for him.
I mean,
he's up about 20 villagers, though. That's the one thing he's got going for him.
Exactly. If he's able to stabilize, this is still a good situation for him. The concern, as you pointed out, is the lack of relics. I mean, at this point, he can be happy if he grabs 1, and that's the other reason why going for the Burgrave Pass would have made so much more sense. Your opponent was up to Castle Age so much faster than you were, and he's playing the Rus, so you should expect him to pick up the majority of the relics by the time you get to the point where you could do that. And he might be left without a single relic here in the worst case scenario. He looks like he also has a fairly limited army right now. It's only 3 knights, 3 spearmen, the prelate. Not the fanciest army I've ever seen.
He does have 6 knights in the queue, though, and 6 knights, a formidable number of knights, but now crossbow is going to be coming out for MarineLorD as well. So beginning to slowly transition into an anti-armor composition, which is going to make a lot of sense. And let's take a look at that Regnitz Cathedral, because something tells me there are 0 relics in it. There surely couldn't be a UI element that would indicate that to me. And indeed, we've got a tap out. Ladies and gentlemen, you've learnt your lesson the hard way. Don't dare forget about the Burgrave Palace. It is absolutely busted. Unfortunately, our hero of the day, LucifroN, does go down, though.
Oh, this is so painful because he was so close. He was so close to holding this one. And at one point, you said something very important. He had 6 knights in the queue. If you look at the resource bank of LucifroN right now, at the end of the game, 1,100 food, 1,200 gold. Imagine how many men-at-arms that would be. Would that win the game for him? Possibly. Possibly not. The key thing here is that, as you said, he had 6 knights in the queue in a moment where he desperately needed numbers above anything. So if he had the Burgrave Palace out there, he would have been able to start spamming out the army, and he wasn't able to capitalize on Ragni's Cathedral at all because his opponent already picked up all the relics. Obviously, it's easy for us to be smart from our perspective, but in this scenario, the Burgrave Palace would have helped so much for LucifroN, would have at least dragged the game out a lot longer.
That's exactly it. Of course, you don't get the scaling of that 600 gold a minute. It's not, you know, it's not perfect, but it definitely would have kept you afloat, would have kept you alive. You know, we can definitely consider the fact that there would have been at least 12, 13 men-at-arms out there. Combine that with the fact that they are the Holy Roman Empire men-at-arms, that they're going to be moving faster, that they're going to be chasing as well. They always get that nice little movement speed buff. You could have potentially had yourself a cleanup on aisle number 3. But speaking of aisle number 3,